Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. I am visiting a friend today, and we're going to share his channel with you, and we're going to talk about what he does. It's another, person living self-sustaining as much as they possibly can. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell me the name of your channel.
My name is Ryan Cook, and I have Heavenly Hills Homestead as my YouTube channel. I also got Instagram and TikTok, and I grow all kinds of fruits and vegetables that we eat, and I also grow giant ones that we use for competition and just have some fun.
So again, guys, Heavenly Hills Homestead is the name of the channel. So please go over to his channel, subscribe, like, comment, and share. So talk about a little bit of what you got going over here.
All right, so this is just a little bit of a front patch here. These are some just decorative gourds that they came up voluntary on their own, and I just said, you know what, let them do their thing. I can generally make a little bit of profit off of those at the end of the season.
Right.
And then we have some Swiss chard up here, and then some cabbage and stuff. We got some huckleberries right here growing. They're not ripe yet, but they're putting on berries, so it won't be long. Yeah, here's some right here. It won't be long.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
yep.
You can make huckleberry jelly and all that stuff out of there. This was the sunflower patch, but it's kind of it got blowed over and stuff, and then I replanted
well,
it.
It's
just not been very good. The wind come through and knocked a 13-footer over there down, and it was doing real good, but it is what it is. There's some giant red cabbages in there, some giant parsnips, and giant carrots and regular carrots and stuff in that raised bed there. It's kind of a mess. Like I said, once the sunflowers blew over, I just threw my hands up and said, the heck with it.
Okay.
Over here, we got basil growing. There's different types of, there's Genovese basil, lettuce leaf basil. There's three different kinds of, or three different giant radishes growing back there on the backside. There's rosemary. There's 6 giant eggplants, some beans, giant rutabagas that are young that I'm starting to grow into the fall.
Okay.
And then these here are the giant ones that are already growing and doing fairly well. They're pretty big round there.
Yeah, it's a good size. Now that's what now?
That's a giant rutabaga.
Giant rutabaga,
Yeah,
okay.
I hold the state record for it at 19 pounds, and that's already bigger than the one I grew last year for the state record. So we got another one around the corner of the house. It's probably going to be the world record. We'll see. There's some beets in there. There's some giant kohlrabi down there. They're pretty big. We can, if people want to check my channel out, you can see that stuff.
On your channel, you explain what your growing process is,
right?
And so that people understand how were you able to grow the vegetables that large and stuff like that.
Right. So like there's different kinds of seeds that you can use. I have a lot of seeds that I sell on the channel or through my channel and stuff.
Okay.
But the seed varieties, a lot of people say, well, can you eat that stuff? Absolutely, you can eat this stuff. There's nothing wrong with eating this stuff. It's very edible. The only difference is this stuff has been continuously grew from the biggest of the biggest, right? So there is no GMOs or any of that stuff with these seeds. There's no steroids or anything used on them, nothing like that.
Okay.
Everything I do is as close to organic as possible.
Right.
The only difference is the seed that I'm using, and the seed that is used for this stuff has been produced from regular crops that were just big. Right, so they took the biggest of the biggest and continued to breed that, and selective breeding, and that's how we got them so big.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right.
And then here's some giant carrots right here. That's
a good sized carrot. Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. We'll take you around the side of the house here. And
okay.
Back.
Yep. Sounds good.
There's a couple beds up here full of cabbages and stuff like that. There's a giant cabbage over there. Like I said, if they want to watch, some of my stuff, and I explain everything as well as possible. If they got questions, just ask. I love getting to answer people's questions and stuff. That's one of my funnest things that I like to do, is be able to interact with people. So here's the corn that we grow. This is just regular old sweet corn. We have that over there is giant corn.
Okay.
The state record I have that at 17 foot 10.5 inches.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so hopefully this will get bigger than that. It's kind of on track for that. So we'll see. This is the garden area. It took a long time for it to start sprouting, so we need to get in here and get caught up. You can see I started staking up some of the tomatoes back there. We need to finish staking up the rest of the tomatoes.
So one of the questions that I would have, and I'm sure a lot of people have this question, and I already know the answer.
Right.
So, like, if you grew, for an example, if you had a great crop of tomatoes this year,
right,
there's no guarantee that that's going to be a great crop next year.
No.
So, you know, that's what I try to explain to people about diversity with your gardens.
Yep.
I made a mistake one year where I thought, okay, I'm gonna grow all these tomato plants and I'm gonna can all these tomatoes, right?
Right.
What ended up happening was I ended up getting root rot on them. I ended up getting 3 tomatoes that were edible out of the entire patch, and I had put most of my garden into that. So again, there's a lot of trial and error.
There is.
In when it comes to gardening, and that's one of the things that that I think is really important that people need to realize. At first you don't succeed, try again.
That's right.
And learn from your mistakes, and that's the biggest thing.
And keep a journal. Keep a journal from one year to the next.
That makes sense.
Write down what you did when you planted your seeds out, when you transplanted them, what the temperature was when you transplanted, and all the little things that you really don't think of. Think to do that. Think to write that down, because that will make you a better grower.
All right, cool. So you want to come over and show these?
Yeah, we'll show these real quick. So these are my babies, and I take a lot of time with these.
I think that's bigger from when I saw it the other day.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger. Let's see, you were here.
It was 300 pounds.
Yep. And today it's 350 something.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was when I measured it this morning. I haven't measured it,
right.
This evening. So yeah, it's big. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully, if all goes well and this keeps growing, it'll be over 1,000 pounds at the end of the season. That can feed a lot of stuff. It can feed my animals. It can feed the deer. It's a natural dewormer. So even if I'm not going to make pumpkin pies out of it, because
right, you're not making all pumpkin pies out of a 1,000-pound pumpkin.
Right. Well, the problem is most pumpkin pies are made out of a squash variety, not an actual pumpkin variety.
Ah, I gotcha.
The sugar content just is not high enough. You would have to dump so much sugar into these to make them even considerably edible.
But if somebody had hogs or something like that.
Like I've got the hogs, I've got the chickens and the goats, and so this is great feed for them. It stores well, so I can store it, from say October all the way through January.
Okay.
And then I can also feed it to the deer.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's a natural dewormer for everything.
So people are going to ask, I see you got some
sand and foam board.
Sand and foam board, yep. Okay.
So here's the thing. If you leave these to lay on the ground, you're taking a very big chance in them having rot on the bottom.
Gotcha.
So what we do is we pick them up, we put them on a foam board, not a plywood board, foam board, because that gives a little bit
cushion.
Of cushion. All right, if you put them on a plywood board, you're taking a chance in there not being any give, and then your blossom end will crack.
I gotcha.
Or could crack. The sand is for to keep the water down.
Let me call you back.
And keep it dry, and it also helps the pumpkin as it slides along.
Okay.
So it's kind of like tiny marbles, right?
I got
so
you.
As it's growing, you can actually see how it's pushing the sand
here
in the front? So it'll continue to push that out. And it, like I said, just keeps it rolling along like marbles. But you do have to drill holes in your foam board to make sure any kind of water goes through that.
Right. Okay, makes sense.
Yep. And then keep it covered like I have them here.
Right. There's another one that he has
you
there.
Keep the sun off of them. They grow at such a fast pace that if you allow the sun to hit the skin, it'll toughen the skin up, and that will also cause cracking and possible splits. And then the pumpkin will go down prematurely.
And I see you got a fan on the back side here.
Yeah. So this fan right here, I was having some stem issues.
Okay.
It's cleared up now, but I'll just keep it there just in case.
Right.
It was doing what we call sapping. So this pumpkin was pulling so much, and the plant was pushing so much nutrients and moisture into this fruit that it was sapping out of the stem.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, and so sometimes you'll even see some of them start sapping around the entire fruit and causing
Now, how
cracking.
big is this this spread of pumpkin patch?
This patch is 90 foot long. 22 foot wide or 20 foot wide. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
because I do see other blossoms over
Yeah,
here starting.
There are, but I'll pick all those off. I will only allow one to grow on this one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, yeah. So that, I mean, you can allow more than that.
But all the energy needs to go into that.
All into this one. Now, if you don't want as big a one, you just want a bunch of, 200-300 pound porch pumpkins.
Right.
Then let a bunch of them grow. You know what I mean?
got you.
And then
I
you
got
can
you.
also, when they're little, when they're about that big around, you can write your kids' names in them, and it will scar over. And then as the pumpkin grows, the name grows with it.
Oh, that's neat.
And then you get this gigantic pumpkin with your kid's name on it, and they're like, "How did the name get on that pumpkin?"
Right.
Because you don't obviously you don't show them or tell them about it until you pick it.
Oh, I got you.
They're just amazed.
They're
about
delighted,
it. Yeah,
right? Sure.
So it's a lot of fun for the kids, and like I said, it does well for the rest of the animals and stuff. It's a way to be able to save some of the money on the feed and be able to give them good, rich, nutritious, dense, nutritious food for your animals, and save your feed bill some. So
right.
that's why we grow them. It's fun, and we feed them to the animals.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very, very cool. Well, we appreciate you sharing all this information with us.
Thank you for coming over here and hanging out with me.
Hey, no problem, man. Like you said, we're, to me, the YouTube community, we're a small community, and I believe we should support each other. And,
Absolutely.
and I got to tell you guys how I found him and his channel. His wife was actually at the store, and I was at the store, and I came out and I saw their bumper sticker on their truck, and I said to her, I said, "Is that your guy's channel?" And she said, "Yeah, my husband's channel." And so I introduced myself, and I told her who I was, and I said, "Have your husband contact me." And Ryan contacted me, and we've been talking, and gonna definitely be friends. I can definitely tell that. And like-minded people, and he's also gonna join our group, and with his growing experience, that's gonna help us out a ton as well. Because here's what he's gonna do, folks. He's going to take our other growers that we have in the group, the people that like to garden. We're going to exchange information, figure out what works, what doesn't. We're going to experiment on the property over at the homestead as well. He's very limited here what he can grow here, but not over there.
Right.
So we're going to be able to do a lot more of that, and it's going to, help each other out and be self-sustainable as much as we possibly can. And again, I have my areas of expertise, like, being a nurse. He doesn't have that experience, but he has experience growing. So you're going to, go to the person that knows what they're doing. Like, he's got the covering up on top of here to help add shade for the plants as well. So there's a lot that goes into it that a lot of people don't think. So again, tell us the name of your channel.
Heavenly Hills Homestead.
Okay, so Heavenly Hills Homestead,
and
guys.
Let me tell you, you have to make sure you get the one with the icon that has me with a big pumpkin, all right? Because there is another channel that after I made my channel, they seen I was doing good, and they named their channel after mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So make sure you get the right channel, guys.
Okay, so definitely check him out if you want to learn about growing and what it takes and what he's doing. I think it's any information like that is great information, and again, we should be supporting each other. So I am going to jump off here for now, guys. So thank you very much for being here, man. I appreciate you, sharing the information with us, and I hope you guys like this information, and definitely go check out his channel. All right, Everybody have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.